The alley was too quiet. Detective Jonas Cade felt it instantly, like stepping into a room where someone had just whispered, and the air still vibrated with secrets. His flashlight slid across the cracked walls, landing on a phone lying face down near an overturned metal bin. The cold wind pushed trash in soft circles around him. "Pick it up," his partner, Mira Santos, murmured behind him. Jonas lifted the phone. The screen lit up, one unread message, one name. From Viper. Mira sucked in a breath. "That's the Shadowline boss. Who's the message for?" Jonas turned the phone toward her. Her face shifted instantly from curiosity to disbelief. The message was clear. "We meet at 2300 I go 200 hours. No police. You promised results." Recipient: Dr. Amara Lewis. Mira whispered, "This can't be real. She's the country's most trusted human rights advocate." "Yeah," Jonas said, staring at the screen. "And now, she's meeting the most dangerous syndicate leader alive." A sudden crash echoed from deeper in the alley, metal clattering against brick. Jonas raised his flashlight, and Mira drew her weapon. "Someone's here," Jonas said. They advanced cautiously, boots crunching on broken glass. A figure bolted from behind a dumpster, sprinting toward the street. "Stop!" Mira shouted. "Police!" But the figure didn't stop. Jonas lunged forward, grabbing the back of the hood and slamming the figure against the wall. A young man, barely 20, struggled against his grip. "Let me go. I didn't do anything." Jonas tightened his hold. "Then why run?" The kid's chest heaved. Because she told me to leave fast." "Who?" Mira demanded. The kid swallowed hard. "Dr. Amara Lewis." Both detectives froze. Jonas lowered his voice. "You know her. She told me to drop the phone here. She said somebody would find it." Mira's eyes widened. Why would she want the police to find a message from a mafia boss? The kid shook his head. "I don't know," she said. This was the only way to expose the truth, that she didn't have time left. Before Jonas could press further, a black SUV screeched around the corner, tires screaming. The kid's face drained of color. "They found me," he whispered. Gunfire erupted. Jonas tackled the kid, shielding him as bullets tore into the dumpsters and brick walls. Mira returned fire, forcing the SUV to peel away. The alley filled with silence again, except for the kid's trembling breath. Jonas stood, pulling him to his feet. "You're coming with us. You're going to explain everything." The kid's voice cracked. "She's in danger. All of us are." A packed auditorium burst into applause as Dr. Amara Lewis stepped up to the podium. Her voice was steady, determined. "When we fight for justice," she said, "we do not choose the safe battles. We choose the necessary ones." She had no idea her world was minutes from collapsing. In the front row, Mira watched her with admiration. Amara was fearless, loved, respected. Then a phone vibrated in Amara's jacket pocket. She glanced at the screen. Just for a second, her entire expression changed. A flash of fear, then she masked it instantly. But Mira saw it. Later, backstage, Mira approached her. "You okay? You looked shaken." Amara forced a smile. "Everything's fine. Just urgent work." "Anything I can help with?" Amara hesitated. "No, not this one." There was something in her tone, something final. Before Mira could ask more, Amara walked away. The kid sat in the interrogation room, hands shaking. Jonas and Mira entered. Jonas began. "Start talking. Who are you to Dr. Lewis?" "My name's Eli," he said quietly. I'm one of the activists she saved from the Shadowline 3 years ago. Since then, she's been protecting me." Mira leaned closer. "And the phone?" "She gave it to me an hour ago. Said she couldn't risk being seen with it. She said the message on it was proof that she was getting close. Too close." Jonas exchanged a look with Mira. "Close to what?" she asked. Eli looked up, eyes full of fear. To exposing everything. Rain hammered against the windshield as Amara sat in the back seat of a moving car, her phone vibrating nonstop. She stared at a folder of documents beside her, kidnapping reports, missing activist profiles, anonymous threats. Her driver glanced at her in the rearview mirror. "Are you sure about this meeting, ma'am?" "No," she whispered. "But I don't have a choice." The car slowed as they approached an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Amara said quietly, "If I don't come out in 20 minutes, call the press. Release everything I sent you." "Yes, ma'am." She stepped out of the car. The warehouse door creaked open on its own. She walked inside. A man's voice came from the shadows, deep, controlled. "Dr. Lewis, always brave." A figure emerged, Viper himself, the elusive syndicate leader. Amara stood straight. "Where are the hostages?" Viper smiled, faintly. "You get straight to business," she replied coldly. "I don't have time for your theatrics." Viper circled her like a predator. "You've been a problem for years, stealing my people, interfering with my work." "What you call work is human trafficking," she snapped. "Your empire is collapsing. I'm here to end this." Viper stopped walking. "You think you're the hero in this story?" Amara held her ground. "I know I am." Viper smirked. "Then why does the world now believe you're one of us?" She stiffened. "What did you do?" He tossed a small device onto the table, her digital ID badge. "I planted conversations, fabricated records. The leak is already spreading. By tonight, you're finished." Amara clenched her jaw. "I'll expose you. You won't live long enough." Suddenly, the warehouse lights cut out. Darkness swallowed everything. Viper's voice echoed from somewhere unseen. "Run, doctor!" Jonas slammed the table. "This is bigger than we thought. She's either walking into a trap, or she's playing a dangerous undercover game without backup." Eli shook his head. "She said she had evidence. She said tonight would change everything." Mira said, "Or end everything." Jonas turned to the officer outside the door. "We need her location. Every camera, every street feed, now." Meanwhile, social media explodes. Nabro, Amara Lewis, Niger Shadow Line. Double agent opinion videos, leaked screenshots, news alerts. The world spiraled. Some said she was a traitor. Some said she was framed. Everyone demanded answers. Rain hammered the city in sheets as Jonas and Mira rushed into the surveillance room. Officers scrambled between screens, tapping keyboards, pulling footage, their faces lit by flickering monitors. "Talk to me," Jonas said. Officer Ray pointed at the largest screen. "We caught a glimpse of her car heading toward the industrial district. She turned off-road, then vanished." Mira frowned. "Vanished? How?" Ray pulled up the footage, a grainy frame of Amara's dark sedan turning under a bridge. Then static, then nothing. "No cameras past that point," Ray added. "Someone scrambled the feed." Jonas rubbed his temples. "Shadow Line, they're 2 moves ahead." A buzz from the hallway. An officer rushed in with a tablet. "Sir?" Leak just got worse. Someone dropped a whole folder online. Emails, bank transactions, private messages, everything pointing to Dr. Lewis being on Viper's payroll. Mira grabbed the tablet, scrolling quickly. "These aren't just screenshots. These are full files, timestamps, metadata, everything. They look legitimate." Jonas leaned closer. "Which means they're either the most convincing forgeries ever made, or we've completely misjudged her." Mira slammed the tablet shut. "No, I've worked with her for years. She wouldn't touch dirty money." Eli, still sitting in the corner with a blanket around his shoulders, whispered, "She said this would happen. She said the world would turn against her before the truth came out." Jonas turned. "Did she tell you what the truth is?" "No, only that it involved people high up. People more dangerous than Viper." Jonas's jaw tightened. Great. Corruption on top of corruption. Suddenly, Mira's phone buzzed. Unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. Detective Santos. A distorted voice crackled through the line. Stop looking for her. Mira straightened. Who is this? You're dealing with forces you don't understand. Jonas moved closer. Put it on speaker. She tapped the button. The voice continued. Walk away. Dr. Lewis made her choice. Now you need to make yours. Mira said, if you hurt her. A low, mocking chuckle cut her off. Detective, if we wanted her dead, she'd already be dead. She's more valuable alive. Jonas narrowed his eyes. Why? What is she doing for you? The voice whispered. Delivering justice. Our justice. Then the call ended. Mira stared at her phone. That wasn't Viper. No, Jonas said. That sounded like someone who's above him. Eli's eyes widened with terror. The inner circle, Jonas turned sharply. What? Eli swallowed. I overheard her talking about them once. She said Shadowline isn't the real threat, it's the people who control it. The inner circle runs everything. Politicians, criminals, even charities, they hide behind the chaos. Jonas muttered. So Viper is just a pawn. Exactly, Eli said, and Amara was getting close to exposing them. Mira paced. If the inner circle contacted us, it means they know we're searching. They're watching. Jonas grabbed his coat. Which means we move faster. Track her car again. Use private feeds from businesses in the area. Someone must have seen something. As they rushed out of the surveillance room, Eli called after them. If you find her, she won't come willingly. She thinks the only way to win is to go alone. Mira paused. Then we'll drag her out if we have to. Amara pressed her back against a metal pillar as the lights flickered weakly. The warehouse smelled of rust and cold water leaking through the roof. She couldn't see Viper anymore. But she could hear him. Slow, taunting footsteps echoed. You thought you were untouchable, didn't you? Amara steadied her breathing. You're afraid. That's why you're hiding in the shadows. Viper laughed softly. Afraid? No. Amused. Absolutely. You think you're the protagonist in this story. But you're just a chapter. The inner circle is the book. Amara clenched her fists. You're lying. Am I? Viper's voice came closer. Who do you think leaked your files? Who do you think erased your car's trail? Do you really think I could do all that alone? She moved silently along the pillar, inching toward the exit. Viper's voice shifted directions. He was moving too. You exposed my men. You interfered with my operations. And yet, the circle protects you. Why do you think that is? Amara froze. They want something from you, Viper continued. When you deliver it, they'll erase you. Amara whispered. They're not using me. Of course they are. You're the perfect pawn. Righteous, brave, predictable. Amara reached the door. She pushed it. And a gun clicked behind her head. She stiffened. Viper whispered, leaving so soon. Amara closed her eyes. You won't pull that trigger. And why not? 'Cause you still need me. A moment of silence. Then another click. A lock turning. The warehouse door opened. From the outside, 2 masked men entered. Viper stepped back. See? Even now, they control everything. The taller masked man spoke. Dr. Lewis, come with us. Amara lifted her chin. Not happening. The second man grabbed her arm. She twisted, slamming an elbow into his ribs, then swept his legs with a quick strike. He hit the ground, hard. The tall man lunged at her. She dodged, grabbing a broken pipe from the floor and swinging it into his arm. He staggered. Viper clapped slowly. Still fighting. Admirable. Amara hissed. I'm not your prisoner. She sprinted toward the exit. Viper barked, "Stop her!" Shouts echoed behind her as she bolted out into the rain. "Got something?" Ray's voice crackled over the radio. Camera from a scrapyard picked up a dark sedan. Possible match. Industrial zone. Jonas floored the accelerator. Send coordinates. Mira loaded her weapon. If she's there with Viper, she won't be alone, and Jonas finished. Thunder cracked across the sky. Amara stumbled through the maze of rusted cars and twisted metal. She wiped rain from her face, breathing hard. Footsteps splashed behind her, shadows moved, voices shouted. She ducked behind an old bus, pulling out her last phone. A burner, hands trembling, she recorded a quick message. If anyone finds this, I have evidence. The inner circle controls Shadowline. They have agents inside the government. Trust no one, not even the police. My location. A bullet tore through the bus window. She has dropped the phone, heart pounding, more footsteps, getting closer. She crawled under the bus, breath shaking, as a flashlight beam swept inches from her face. Then, a car screeched into the yard. Jonas jumped out. "Amara!" Mira shouted. "Get down!" Gunfire erupted again. Amara closed her eyes, whispering, "Thank God." But then, her expression hardened. "No," she muttered. "Not yet. This ends tonight." She grabbed the burner phone, shoved it in her jacket, and sprinted deeper into the yard. Jonas saw her running. "Amara, stop!" She didn't stop. She vanished into the storm. Lightning cracked above the scrapyard, casting brief, harsh flashes over the twisted metal towers. Jonas and Mira crouched behind a wrecked SUV as bullets sliced through the rain. "She's running deeper in," Mira shouted. Jonas peeked around the corner. 3 hostiles, closing in from the west side. Shadowline is here in full force. "Then we fight our way through," Mira said, loading a fresh magazine. A bullet ricocheted off a metal hood inches from her head. "Carefully," Jonas barked, but Mira's eyes were fixed on the darkness ahead. "She's out there alone, Jonas. We don't have time." Jonas scanned the shadows. "We'll get her, but we do it alive." As they pushed forward, Mira's radio buzzed. "Detectives," Ray's urgent voice said. "We just intercepted coded transmissions. Someone else is heading your way, government vehicles, but the signals are encrypted in a pattern we've never seen." Jonas cursed under his breath. "The inner circle," Mira whispered. "They're coming to finish this." They exchanged a tense look. Then they moved. Amara ducked behind a massive heap of crushed cars, pressing a hand to her rib where a bullet had grazed her earlier. She breathed through the pain. Short, controlled gasps. Her burner phone vibrated. A message. Her eyes narrowed. Unknown sender. "Stop running. We're here to protect you." A second message followed. "Return to the warehouse. Alone. Final chance." Amara clenched her teeth. Lies. All lies. She slipped the phone back into her jacket and peeked around the corner. 2 Shadowline enforcers scanned the area with flashlights. "You see her?" one growled. "No," the other muttered, "but Viper wants her alive." "The circle wants her alive," the first corrected. "Viper is just obeying orders." That sentence chilled Amara more than the rain. She moved silently, crawling under a fallen steel beam. But as she emerged, a cold voice cut through the storm. "Going somewhere, doctor?" Amara spun. A tall man in a gray suit stood ahead, unfazed by the weather, expression flat, almost bored. It wasn't Viper. It was worse. She recognized him instantly. "Agent Rowan," she breathed. "Government intelligence, but not a public face. A ghost." "You shouldn't be here," Amara said. Rowan stepped closer. "Neither should you. You've caused enough disruption." She backed away slowly. "You're part of this. You're with the circle." Rowan didn't deny it. "Come quietly," he said. "Your work has been valuable, but now it's time to conclude it." "I'm not ending anything," Amara snapped. Rowan sighed, as if disappointed. Dr. Lewis, heroes only exist when someone allows them to. She bolted. Rowan's men emerged from the shadows, but she slipped between two rusting trucks, sprinting into a narrow passage of crushed metal. Flashlights swept behind her. "Find her," Rowan ordered. "Do not let her escape." Gunfire echoed in the distance. "That's coming from the east corner," Mira said. Jonas nodded. Amara must be there. They rushed toward the sound, weaving between metal carcasses. Halfway through, a grenade clattered at Jonas's feet. "Move!" Mira yelled. They dove behind a truck, just as the explosion rocked the yard, sending shrapnel and debris into the air. Jonas coughed, ears ringing. "This is a war zone." Mira grabbed his arm. "On your feet. She's close, I can feel it." They ran again. Her breath burned her throat. Her legs ached, but she didn't stop. She darted into a narrow corridor of stacked cars, the air tight, the rain blocked by the jagged metal roof overhead. Footsteps chased her. She ducked into a hollowed-out van, pressing her back against the cold interior. She whispered to herself, "Stay calm, stay sharp." Voices approached. Rowan's voice was clear. "She's close. Spread out." Amara closed her eyes. Then she heard a sound. A small beep from the pocket of one of Rowan's men walking by. A tracker. "It's on me," as she realized. Her burner phone. Of course, they'd planted a tracker in it. She ripped it out of her pocket. Footsteps grew louder. She hurled the phone down a distant path. The men chased after the signal. Rowan shouted, "She ditched it! Double back!" Amara slipped out the opposite side of the van and ran. They reached the east corner just in time to see shadows clashing in the rain. Jonas squinted. Multiple hostiles and one unarmed figure. "Amara," Mira whispered. Jonas raised his weapon. "Cover me, I'm moving." Mira placed a steadying hand on his arm. "Jonas, this isn't just criminals. These are government ghosts. If we cross them..." "We crossed the line the moment we came here," Jonas said. "Now move." She stumbled into open space near the edge of the yard. Rain pouring freely here. She saw an exit sign flickering dimly in the fence ahead. She sprinted toward it. A hand clamped onto her arm. "Viper." He pulled her back violently. "Running again. This is getting disappointing." She slapped his hand away, twisting free. "Leave me alone." He smirked. "Not until you tell me what you stole." "I didn't steal anything." "Lies. The Circle doesn't fear you for nothing." "What's on the USB you took, Doctor?" Amara's blood ran cold. "How do you know about that?" Viper stepped closer. "Because they want it, and I want it before they kill me too." Before she could respond, Rowan's voice boomed through the yard. "Step away from her, Viper." Viper's eyes widened. "Oh, wonderful," he muttered. "The puppet masters sent their dog." Rowan appeared with two men at his side, weapons raised. "Dr. Lewis," Rowan said, "this ends now." "Funny," Viper sneered, drawing a gun. "I was about to say the same." Amara stood trapped between them, criminals on one side, the inner circle on the other. She lifted her hands. "Everyone, stop," Rowan ordered. "Take her." Viper shouted, "Over my dead body." They opened fire at the same time. Amara dove behind a metal crate as bullets tore the ground around her. She screamed, "Stop!" But no one listened. Then, a familiar voice cut through the chaos. "Amara, down!" Jonas and Mira burst onto the scene, guns blazing, forcing both sides to scatter. Mira sprinted to Amara, grabbing her hand. "We're getting you out of here." Amara shook her head fiercely. "No, you can't. They'll kill all of us." Jonas fired 3 quick shots. "They're going to kill you if you stay." Rowan shouted, "Detectives, stand down. You have no jurisdiction here." Jonas yelled back, "We don't need jurisdiction. We need her alive." Then everything shifted. A dark silhouette appeared atop a pile of crushed cars. The figure held a sniper rifle. He aimed directly at Amara, Mira saw it first. "Oh God, Jonas!" The sniper fired. Amara gasped. The world froze. The sniper's shot cracked through the storm. Mira lunged sideways, slamming into Amara and knocking her to the ground. The bullet tore through the metal behind them with a deafening ring. Jonas spun. "Sniper! Top ridge!" More shots followed, pinging wildly off the wreckage. Jonas pulled Amara behind a stack of engine blocks as Mira fired back toward the silhouette. "Who the hell is that?" Mira shouted. Amara's voice trembled. That's not Shadowline. That's not government either." Jonas peeked out again. "Then who?" Amara swallowed hard, her breath shaky. "Someone the Circle sends when they want the mess cleaned fast. They call him—" A bullet sliced past, barely missing her face. "The Eraser," she finished. Jonas cursed under his breath. "Great! A professional executioner." Viper ducked behind a battered pickup nearby, screaming at his men. Fall back! Fall back! The Circle set us up." Rowan's voice rose in anger. "Hold your ground. The asset must not escape." "Asset?" Amara snapped. "I'm not an asset." Jonas grabbed her shoulders. "We know, but we need to move now." He pointed toward a half-collapsed maintenance tunnel at the far edge of the yard. "Our way out," he said. "We make it there. We live." Mira hesitated. "Jonas, that tunnel could collapse at any moment." Jonas stared at the approaching gunmen. "So could we." They ran. Gunfire erupted behind them as both factions, Shadowline and the Inner Circle, shifted their focus to Amara's retreat. Mira fired backwards, yelling, "Jonas, faster! I'm trying!" Amara stumbled, but Jonas pulled her upright. "I'm slowing you down," she gasped. "Too late to argue," Jonas shot back. Then a blast shook the ground. Viper, enraged and cornered, tossed a grenade toward Rowan's forces. The explosion lit the sky. The shockwave hurled Jonas and Amara forward, slamming them into muddy ground. Mira fell hard beside them. Jonas groaned. "Everyone alive!" Before anyone could answer, the sniper fired again, this time hitting the ground inches from Amara's foot. "Go!" Mira screamed. They sprinted into the maintenance tunnel. The tunnel was dark, cramped, dripping with water. Thunder echoed through the metal walls as the storm continued above. Jonas clicked his flashlight on. "Stay low," he whispered. Amara limped, clutching her side. Mira supported her, keeping pace. "I can't keep dragging you," Mira said. Amara forced a nod. "I'll manage." They moved deeper. A faint rumble sounded behind them. Jonas froze. "That's not thunder," he whispered. A moment later, a red laser dot floated across the wall. Mira's eyes widened. "He's in the tunnel." The Eraser, silent, precise, unstoppable. A bullet ripped past Jonas, sparking off the metal. "Run!" Mira yelled. They sprinted deeper into the tunnel, their footsteps echoing in the narrow space. Jonas fired blindly behind them. Another shot rang out. Amara screamed, her leg giving out beneath her. She didn't fall completely. Jonas caught her mid-collapse. "My leg!" "He grazed me," she gasped. "We're not losing you," Jonas growled. He hoisted her onto his shoulder. Mira fired 2 suppressive shots into the darkness. "Move, Jonas!" They reached the far exit, a ladder leading up to a loose metal hatch. Jonas shoved Amara upward. Climb!" She gritted her teeth, pulling herself rung by rung. Mira fired again, the sound deafening as bullets ricocheted around them. Amara reached the top and pushed the hatch open. Sunlight, rain, freedom. "Go!" Jonas yelled. She climbed out. Jonas followed next. Mira turned to fire. One last round. Click, empty. Her eyes widened as the sniper's silhouette materialized at the far end of the tunnel. "Mira!" Jonas screamed. She scrambled up the ladder and pulled herself out just as a bullet smashed into the rung below her foot. Jonas slammed the hatch shut. Another bullet hit the metal. Mira backed away, trembling. "He won't stop. Jonas, he's going to come through." Jonas grabbed her arm. "We have one move left." He pointed to a construction truck parked near the hatch. Wedge it over the door, now! They pressed their weight against the heavy vehicle, pushing it inch by inch until it blocked the hatch completely. A loud, metallic bang sounded from below. The eraser trying to force the hatch open. Mira whispered, "That'll only hold for a minute." Jonas lifted Amara into the truck's cab. "Then we use our minute wisely." He climbed in, Mira jumping beside him. He turned the key. The engine roared. They sped away from the scrapyard, tires skidding on wet concrete. Amara pressed a shaking hand against her wounded leg. "You don't understand. The USB, it wasn't supposed to leave the lab." Jonas glanced at her. "What's on it, Amara?" She looked down. "Evidence," she whispered. "The Circle has been running medical experiments, illegal trials, on prisoners, migrants, and activists." Mira swallowed. "Human experiments." "Yes," Amara said. "And they used me, my research, my papers, my work. They said it was humanitarian testing for vaccines, for medicine, but it wasn't. It was torture disguised as science." Jonas tightened his grip on the wheel. "And they want you dead, so you can't expose them." Amara nodded. "I was naive, too trusting. By the time I realized what the data really showed, it was too late." Mira turned to her. "Amara, we're going to help you bring them down." "You can't," she whispered. "They control everything. Government, corporations, media. The inner circle is not a group. It's a system." Jonas shook his head. "Every system has cracks. You're one of them." Suddenly, 2 black SUVs screeched onto the road ahead, blocking the path. Jonas slammed the brakes. "Not again," Mira muttered. Rowan stepped out of the lead SUV, soaked from the rain, expression cold, controlled. He shouted, "Dr. Lewis, face down on the ground. This is your final warning." Amara's voice cracked. "He won't keep me alive." "We're not giving you up," Jonas said, but Rowan raised his weapon. "Detectives, stand down. You cannot win." Jonas whispered, "Watch me." He shifted the truck into reverse. But a distant roar echoed behind them. Amara's eyes widened. "No!" The eraser, on a motorcycle, burst from the tunnel road, speeding straight toward them, rifle raised. "Jonas, move!" Mira shouted. Jonas spun the wheel. The truck fishtailed, skidding violently as bullets shattered the rear window. Rowan's men opened fire. The eraser fired simultaneously. Chaos exploded around them. Jonas yelled, "Hold on!" He floored the accelerator. The truck ripped forward, crashing through the blockade. Metal screamed. Glass shattered. Men dove out of the way. They burst free onto the main road, leaving Rowan and the eraser behind. In the chaos, Mira panted. Are we alive?" Jonas nodded. "Barely." Amara burst into tears, gripping their hands. "Thank you. Thank you." And Jonas looked ahead, eyes fierce. "This isn't over. We expose the circle. We go public. We make noise they can't silence." Amara nodded through her fear. "Then let's finish what I started. And if you're watching this now, stay with us. This story is just beginning."